Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make your Bitmoji classroom show up on your updates page instead of the materials page when the kids first log in to Schoology. So this is what it looks like on my first section. I've already done it. I'm gonna put it onto the other section to show from scratch to show you how to do it. I'm going to assume you already have your Bitmoji classroom made in Google Slides. So this is what my classroom looks like for Google Slides. And each one of my sections has a separate presentation. That's just the way that I did it to make it easier for my own organization. So if you go now into your courses, if you've clicked on a course, it should generate a page on the materials section. That's where the landing page is for most people. The first thing you have to do is change that so that the landing page is the updates. So you'd go to course options, click on course settings, scroll down, and change the default landing page so that it is updates instead, and press save changes. Now if you go back to that course, you see that it's the update page that loads, and this is what that looks like. It's sort of like Facebook post. So we're gonna put the Bitmoji classroom here as an announcement so it's always on top and always the first thing that your students see so that they're not randomly clicking in other places and seeing other folders. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure you have your Bitmoji classroom, and you're going to go File, Publish to Web, make sure it's published, so hit Publish, and then click on Embed to get this code. You're going to click on there and it selects all of it. Do Control C or right click, copy, and then exit out. Then you're going to go into your Schoology, and you need to create a new page for that Bitmoji classroom so that it can show up in updates. So I'm going to go to materials and I'm going to click on add materials, add folder. I want my folder to not be seen by any of the kids, so I'm making it unpublished there. I'm just calling it Bitmoji classroom and hitting create. It's lighter and kind of grayed out because it's not active, which is what you want. So inside Bitmoji classroom, click on that folder, add materials, add a page, just titling it Bitmoji classroom. Then you're going to click over here, these two dots, and click on it so that it switches to HTML. You know you're in HTML because it got rid of the editing tools. So if you're in visual, you can see editing tools like Word. But if you've switched it to HTML, those are gone. Now copy and paste your code, or paste your code that you copied, I'm sorry. And here's where you need to do a little bit of editing. So I've put a code in a notepad just so I can make it easier to copy and paste. But it is ampersand sign, and then AMP, semicolon, RM equals minimal, and then a quote, a space, width equals, quote, 780, end quote, space, height equals, quote, 440, end quote, space, frame border, all one word, equals, quote, 0, end quote, and then close caret, open caret, slash, make sure the slash is going up to the right, I frame, close caret, open caret / P close caret. So that's so that, because you can't copy and paste it from me, so I'm reading it so that you can write that down. So you want to copy that code or get that code and exchange. If you noticed, the code starts with an ampersand. Here, you're going to get rid of everything after the question mark in your code, that the question mark comes after embed. So I'm just going to highlight all of this and delete it. Now I'm going to paste what I had copied, or you would type in. Make sure your question mark stays there. My question mark just got erased, but I typed it back in. So now if you notice in your code, you have that closed P. You need to make sure that the beginning and the end match. So you need to have an open P here. Sometimes it'll automatically be there. I don't know why mine wasn't. So you have an open P and close the P. Then you notice you have an open iframe and you've closed your iframe, which now the code is balanced and it'll work. So all you had to do is really replace that end of that code so that all of your Bitmoji classrooms are uniform, same size, and will work in that window. So now just make sure you go down and click on this ABC little note page so that it's colored and says display inline, and then press create. I'm working on a really old computer, so it just takes a little bit of time. So you can see my classroom is really big. A lot of the times there'll be like black bars on the top and bottom, but changing that code allowed those black bars to be removed. So now that I have my Bitmoji classroom on a page in that hidden folder, this is how you put it into your updates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over off the side of the picture, and I'm going to click and hold down my mouse as I'm pulling over. You might not see it, like I can't see it on mine, but you might be able to see it on yours, and then come up and highlight that and then let go of your mouse button. That way, this text and the picture are both highlighted. The reason why I highlight the text too is just so I make sure that the picture got highlighted as well. So now that that's highlighted, I'm going to either right click, copy. Oh, my copy isn't there. So I think you have to do Control C, not right click copy. So do Control C and just hope that it copied. And now I'm going over to updates. And I'm going to click in the box here, and I'm going to do Control V. Oh, it didn't copy. So let's go back so that can happen. Go back and get the image. Sorry about that. So I'm going to go back into my image. I'm going to highlight this again. Control C. Back to updates. Control V. And it's posted in there. You can see the picture loading. So you're going to scroll all the way up to the top, and you're going to delete this text. We don't want the text in there, so that it's just the picture. And then here's the important part. You got to make sure you click this little speech bubble with the plus sign and select the bell, because that's going to make it an announcement instead of just a post, and make sure that it's always on top. So make sure that that's checked and then press post. Now my Bitmoji classroom shows up in a large image on my updates page. It will also put it down here on your wall, like on Facebook, and that's like a history of your posts. You do not want to delete this. So leave this here. If you delete this, you'll delete the announcement up here. And don't click remove. Remove will also delete your announcement. The announcements always stay on top. So that's how you put it into announcements. Now, if you notice, my finger, when I hover, indicates that there's a link there, right? So that's what's cool about putting this in, is that when I make any changes in my Google Slides, it will automatically put it into here with only refreshing. So I'll show you what I mean. So let me hide this. If I'm in my section, like I said, I made a different presentation for each section. In my drive, I have a folder for each section that all the files are in. So in my section, if I want to add a link to this picture right here, what I do is I select the text box. And if you know a different way to add a link to it, then go ahead and do it that way. But I don't have, oh, sorry, I can select it that way. In my section 1-3, I made the classroom a background. So everything in section 1 is static and isn't an object that I can move, except for my bitmoji and these storage boxes. Everything else is should be part of the background. Actually, this is not part of the background, but the shark's part of the background, the shelf's part of the background. These binders, I've already created a link there, but they're actually part of the background. So is the calendar, the shelf, everything in this this section was part of the background, because I was trying to make it, see if it helped the classroom to load faster. So I flattened that image down in Photoshop to make that all an image. But we're going to work in section 2, because like most people have, each one of these objects is separate and movable and clickable. So if you wanted to add a link when you have a slide where everything's movable, you just click on the picture of that item to highlight it like this. Then you click on insert link and put in the link to where you want that to go. Now I want this to go to my page that I already made. I already made a presentation slide. So I would go to my Google Drive in section 2-1. I don't want to open, I wanted to open the folder, hold on. Sorry, I clicked on the picture inside the folder. So in 2-1, you can see I have already have the classroom, and I already created a schedule. So I'm going to actually do the schedule, show you how to add that instead of the grammar mistakes, because I don't have that made yet for section 2-1. So the schedule is here where I have this calendar. So I want to add a link there. So I'm going to go back into 2-1, open up my schedule presentation. Then this schedule is probably not set. It's just something I created very quickly to create a page. And I'm gonna make sure that it's published already. I have to publish this so that I can get the link. It's publishing. So now it's published and I can grab the link. So Control-C to copy the link. Go back to my 2-1, Control-V to paste the link and press apply. And now the calendar icon, the calendar little graphic is linked to that schedule. So if I go to my Schoology page to check it, I don't want to refresh. I don't want to press refresh, because that'll mess with this, because I don't want to mess with reposting. So I'm just going to go make sure I go back into my course through the entrance by clicking on the course. And it's reloading this page. And you'll see now I can click on that image and it opens our class schedule. Now I would like to make it so that when I click on this calendar, it just opens up the schedule in the same window without opening a new tab. I haven't figured out how to edit that link code yet to open in the same window, but when I figure that out, I can make another video. Also, same with, I made it on each one of my separate slides, I made a home button. It's in the same place on all of them, so that when they click that, if they don't know to go back to this tab, it'll take them back to the main slide again. Again, I would like for that to load in the same page, but right now it's opening in a new window, which isn't the end of the world. The kids just need to make sure they close these tabs so that they're not having a whole bunch of tabs open. So you see that it loaded, it created, when I made that change and I refreshed the Schoology page, it did it right away. I didn't have to change any code in the embed or anything like that. It just did it by itself. Now, if you want to do it another way, I want to show so that it does open in the same page. If I wanted to have it click in the same window, create that page, and when I go and create a new link, I'll show you. If I select, say, the shark, and I add a link to it, I can pick another slide in this presentation so that when, let's say that I had the schedule here instead of another presentation, I'll show you what that does. Again, my computer is just old, so it loads slowly. So now my shark is clickable, and when I click on the shark, it does stay in the same page. However, and they can do right click and go back. However, because it's the same slideshow, because it's in the same file, the kids could just randomly click anywhere and it also takes them to that page. So it's problematic in that they're not clicking on a specific link to go to a specific place. They're going to the next page in the slideshow. And I don't know, I haven't learned how to stop that from happening. That'd be great if all the pages just loaded right here, if they were all in this same slideshow. However, I don't know how to make it so that when they click on the plant, it doesn't go to that slide. And I don't want them to just go to my random next slide if I purposely want them clicking purposefully on links that I've created. Some people might not think that that's a big problem. I just don't want that confusion for mine. Now I don't know why this isn't loading. Oh wait, I have to go to updates. So you can keep all of your files here, and when you're clicking on them when you're clicking on the links in this main screen, it'll just load here. But like I said, there's the potential for the kids to just click anywhere and it takes them to the next slide in your presentation, at whatever that happens to be. And that could cause confusion. So that is how you make your Bitmoji classroom into your updates so that it's large and still clickable. And when I figure out how to make the links load in the same page, then I can let you know or make another video about that. If you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully that answered everything. And I'm gonna try to figure out how to stop this.